Hello, everyone. My name is Brianna Larson, and I will be talking to you today about Chapter 1 as we begin exploring the text, What is Theater? I am a theater and dance artist and educator, and some of my focus in my education and training and teaching has been in choreography and movement, movement for the actor, dance, Michael Chekhov acting technique, so a lot about moving with the body, and today I'll be diving in with you as we explore what is art and what that can mean as we go further into the semester, looking specifically at theater as an art form. So we dive in with Chapter 1, What is Art? Art is the only way to run away without leaving home. Twyla Tharp. And George Bernard Shaw says that without art, the crudeness of reality would make the world unbearable. Think about how you define art. What does art mean to you? What are potential problems or challenges with defining art? Art is something that's created with the imagination and skill that is beautiful or that expresses important ideas or feelings. Art is works created by artists, paintings, sculptures, etc., that are created to be beautiful or to express important ideas or feelings. Art is the methods and skills used for painting, sculpting, drawing, etc. These are directly from your book, from Merriam-Webster as it is defined. Would you add anything to that definition? How do you engage with art on a daily basis? Do you see yourself as an artist? Why or why not? What does it take to make someone an artist? Do they need to be paid? Do they need to be published? If you see your art as only something for yourself, do you consider yourself artistic but not an artist? Do those terms go together always, or can they be separate? You can have your own opinions on any of these things. Just be sure to think about why you feel that way. Is it a challenge to define art? For the purposes in this class, art refers to any form of artistic endeavor created to be appreciated for its skill, beauty, or emotional power. So an artist can be a dancer, photographer, baker, musician, poet, architect, writer, designer, sculptor, sketcher, etc. So many things we might not initially think of when we think of art or an artist. Ways that you can interact with it that you might not have already thought of. Before I put some up, what do you think? How do you interact with it on a daily basis? Watching music videos, singing in the car, reading books, looking at illustrations, as long as all of the other things listed on here. Going to museums, going to movies, hanging up posters, paintings in your own home. For this discussion today, we're going to focus specifically on the subjectivity of art section of Chapter 1, the idea of one person's trash being another person's treasure. How does one define good art? Is the skill part of its worth? That something is easily made in 5 minutes, or that something took someone 5 weeks? How much training or skill did they have to create the art? Is that part of the discussion? Again, it's subjective, so you're open to have your own opinion. Just try to decide why you think something is considered good or not. What about it makes you like it or dislike it? Art is not only challenging to define, but it's subjective, like I said. Beautiful, masterful art to one may seem like utter nonsense to another, which I'm sure you've experienced in your life. This subjectivity makes it difficult to quantify art in terms of value. Art is worth what someone is willing to pay for it, or how many people are willing to pay. Just think of anything else. How much does it cost to get new tires on your car? People will pay that much so they can charge that much. How much does it cost to get a DJ at your event? DJs can charge as much as people are willing to pay for them. Think of auctions. And don't only think of items that you purchase, but think of experiences, tickets of going to a concert, going to a spa. We're going to do a subjectivity exercise. You're going to look at the following slides with examples of visual art, specifically, and take note of which one or ones you like best and which one or ones you like least. Try and figure out why. I'll show you an image. I'll just give you a couple moments, but you feel free to pause the video so you can think on it longer. Do you like the piece of art or don't you? But then not just, yeah, I like it, no, I don't. Why or why not? I like it because, I don't like it because. Come up with language to explain your choices. And then I'll also let you know what the value was considered for this piece of art. So take a look. Again, I'll pause for just a couple of seconds, but if you want to pause the video and think for a moment, please do so you can try to decide what it is about the piece of art that draws you in or repels you away. This is a 1948 Jackson Pollock called Number 5, 1948, and its value is considered to be 140 million. What do you think about that? Take a look. What draws you in? What pushes you away? Why? And what do you see? This is a roughly 17,300-year-old cave painting from France. Thus, being a cave painting, we don't have a price for it. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Why? This is a 1486 Sandro Botticelli. The piece is entitled The Birth of Venus. And the price is estimated at 400 to 500 million. Again, what do you think about not only the pieces, if you consider them art, but the value that's being shown? Why? Why not? Specify. When we switched to this slide, what was your initial reaction? Were you excited? Were you intrigued? Were you drawn in? Were you annoyed? Think about that. What's your initial reaction when you first see a piece of art? I know we're focusing on visual art here, but you can think about when you first hear a piece of music, you first experience that form of art. This is a contemporary piece by artist Lindsay Rapp entitled Venus. You might see a slight connection to another piece we just looked at. The artist's other originals range from 700 to 9,000. I was not able to find out exactly how much this piece sold for because once it's sold, it doesn't list anymore. It just shows her current pieces and what's being asked for those. This is a 1961 Alberto Giacometti called Walking Man 1. Value listed at 104.3 million. (2013) Sean Shrum. The piece is entitled Bill Clinton. Value 26,000. This is another piece of art that I think when we look at it, we can try to envision two pieces of art. First, there's the photograph we're looking at. We have the person in the bottom left corner, and we have all of the what look like us at first glance to be sort of silver mylar balloons. So just the photograph and the photographer that captured this of this piece of art is its own piece of art. But what we're actually looking at is an Andy Warhol called Silver Clouds from 1966. And it's meant to be an interactive piece of art. So when you go into the gallery that has this, all of these silver clouds are floating in this space, and you are meant to go up and interact with it. So you can see it looks like the person in the photo maybe touched some of the clouds, bounced them away, and that's what you're meant to do, is go in, experience, move around within the art. So you can think both about the photograph if you'd like, but also allow yourself to imagine being in the space interacting with this art. Andy Warhol put this together with dancer choreographer Merce Cunningham, who was a dancer choreographer. I think I just said that. Oh, my brain. And there are some clips you can find on YouTube, while I haven't found a lot. Price for this, I have listed question mark. I couldn't find anything specifically because it's not a piece that's really been sold. It's meant to be in the museum, meant for you to come and interact with, and it has been choreographed and danced with as well. Again, allow yourself to have an initial reaction. Don't judge it or edit it. Just take in the reaction and then try to figure out why you reacted that way. This piece was created in 2015 by an artist named Tyler Evan, and it is titled Rebirth. This piece was sold for $800. This piece was made by the artist when he was an undergraduate art student. Here we have a piece circa 1510 by Raffaello Sanzio, as you might know as Raphael, entitled Head of a Muse. Value listed, $47.9 million. Elements of this piece might seem familiar to you if you're familiar with Abbey Road, or the Gorillas, or even some Pokemon. This piece was made roughly in 2013 by an artist named Solomon Hinds, created when he was in high school for an art project. It's a priceless gift from my little brother, so that's the value on this. And what do you think of a piece that's created using other pieces of art that exist? Are you drawn to it because you either like one of those previous forms of art, or does it repel you for a similar reason? So reflecting on this, subjectivity of art, your experiences with art, how you interact with it on a daily basis, or how you consider yourself an artist or not. What's an example of a work of art? Let it be visual art, music, dance, film, theater, that you love or that you hate, that someone else feels the opposite about you, or feels the opposite about it. So it could be a movie you love that a friend or family member hates. It could be a song that one of your friends is completely obsessed with and loves, and you just don't get what they like about it. What do you think accounts for the difference between two people having completely different views on that piece of art. Go ahead and pause the video and give yourself a moment to think about that. If you don't enjoy a piece of art, are you still able to appreciate it? So any of those images we saw, if you didn't like it, could you still appreciate what went into creating that piece of art? Or thinking about this example of art that you either love or hate, that someone else feels the opposite, if it's a piece that you do not like, are you still able to appreciate why they like it? How it is still a beautiful piece of art? What makes something good art? The art of theater involves the relationship between the audience, performers, a script or text, a director, the theater space, and design elements. You'll see this in your book. The fact that theater is alive is something that sets it apart from television and film. So as we go on the journey this semester through the rest of the book, remember that when we're talking about theater, we're talking about the live performance. So not movies, not film, live performances. Chapter 2 will go on to discuss the art of theater in more detail. So as we wrap this up, remember, art has many forms. It tells us of our past, our present, our future. There are visual arts, there are performing arts. Art is subjective by nature. So this does create challenges in how it's valued and supported in society, as you hopefully saw looking at the pieces we looked at. Theater itself is a unique live art form. And even though we didn't get to that section of the chapter, remember that art is an important part of a society's culture. We are brought together as a community and gain opportunities to learn about ourselves and the world around us. Be sure to watch the videos for this chapter in your book. The first from philosopher Alain de Botton, who says that art should be a constant source of support and encouragement for our better selves. Do you agree? I'll say goodbye with a couple more quotes from this chapter about art. The purpose of art is washing the dust of daily life off our souls. Pablo Picasso. Every artist dips his brush in his own soul and paints his own nature into his pictures. Henry Ward Beecher. And Miguel Angel Ruiz says, every human is an artist. The dream of your life is to make beautiful art. Thank you all so much for exploring that section of Chapter 1 with me. I hope you enjoy the rest of the content in Chapter 1 and exploring theater as you progress throughout the semester, the rest of the text and other materials you will get to enjoy. Have a great one.